Okay, good evening and welcome to another Christ Mind live stream broadcast where we set out to transmit the love and light that we are through the magic of internet connection and this beautiful and available portal of YouTube. So I just welcome you here with whole heart for chapter 13 of Choose Only Love, book 1. We're still there. And I'm excited to read today. Love everything that arises in you. I can kind of intuit this is like a turning point chapter. We've been exploring how appearance manifests out from the abstract oneness of divinity that we are, how appearances were first created through a whim of separation, and then the cascading effects that came out all the way to the level and density of physicality and the creation of fear as a creative force within the mind that was always optional, but an ever-present option that we have to choose fear and to create from fear. And now, love everything that arises in you. This is sort of the turning point, I feel, the atonement coming in, how we can approach a world that's been created from separation and from fear, and skillful means to meet that with wisdom, with kindness, with love. I shouldn't get too far ahead of myself because I haven't read it yet, so let's dive in and love everything that arises within you. And my invitation is just to really embrace the potency of this moment and allow yourself the permission to really bask in the transmission of love, if that is your highest desire right now. There's no pressure, but that's the invitation. If you want to be here and just rest and enjoy and really let the heart open to the voice, to the words, to the transmission, and allow the judgmental mind just to be here and just, be kind to it and just don't take it too seriously, and just see it's not because, wow, I'm such a great teacher that I'll transmit some amazing wisdom to you. No, it's just like any moment, you can open your heart in this moment. You could also while watching traffic outside your window, but we're going more directly towards that intentionality here. Open the heart, receive the love. That's the invitation, and it is available. Okay, let's dive in. Prelude. Beloved of the highest, who dwells in the abode of light, daughters and holy sons, that's us, creatures of God. Once again we come to remember together a wisdom that is not of the world and which dwells in your hearts. We thank you for welcoming with love these words of love and truth. We love you with a supernatural love. We love you with a saving love. Our love is pure. It is a love devoid of the compulsion to possess. We are the Father's love come true. We are light that shines everywhere. We are legion, an uncountable multitude. We are the light of discernment that dwells in heaven and on earth. We are bearers of the wisdom of love, just like you. So this invitation of inclusion, like we are the highest light, we are pure love, just like you. They don't see, these messengers don't see themselves as different than us, separate than us, higher than us. An open-armed invitation into the permission to feel one with these vibrations of light and love, of heaven, of the kingdom, of truth. We have come in the peace of God in response to your call, and as part of the divine plan, we have come to remember together the truth that we have already accepted in union and relationship. By the Father's design, Countless angels of heaven and beings of light come from the heart of God to be in union with you on earth, and will remain at your side until the end of time. As never before, heaven has opened. Its holy beings are united with earth and with your souls. Can you feel the presence of the angels? Can you feel how close is heaven? Can you comprehend that there is no such thing as heaven over there and earth over here? Can you observe with serene joy how heaven embraces earth? Can you? Can you? I wonder. It's so simple, there's no technique. You just opening and receiving now to the highest identity that we are, daughters and sons of God. Now heaven and earth unite in the discernment of truth to an unprecedented degree. Whether you realize it or not, you are living in a new time of unity. You can see this on all sides if you observe carefully. Seek unity, and you will find it. Remain in the union of the three hearts, in whose unity resides the perfect peace of Christ. Live always in the presence of love. If you remember, the unity of the three hearts was one of the early chapters, which was this invitation into acknowledging my heart, the heart of Jesus, and the heart of Mother Mary are one unified heart in God, present to the love of the divine Creator. We are one, the unity of the three hearts. Pure souls who receive these words, you who are conscious of living in the consciousness of Christ, have already found truth. You have returned. Remember this always. Keep this recognition very high on the candlestick of your consciences, and you will live on earth as the living Christ that you truly are. You will walk as women and men being God. Remember that your function is to embrace everything that arises in you, so that everything is included in the embrace of love. Our function is to embrace everything that arises, so that everything is included in the embrace of love. Because we are one with God. So we are where God meets the unconscious through us. Everything is included. We are that conduit. That is our function. The inclusion, points of inclusion. 2. The option for love. God embraces all things within himself. Everything exists in the embrace of his love. Nothing escapes the warmth of his heart. The sun rises upon every one and everything. The air is given to all equally. Everyone has been given life. You have all been given a consciousness, a mind, a heart, a soul, a spirit. To all the same, become one with the whole. Do not fear losing yourself, for you cannot lose yourself. Quite the opposite. You will find your true Christ self. Become one with the wind and the sun. Become one with the stars and the flowers. There is nothing in them that is not in you. There is nothing in the beauty of the song of the birds that is not in your soul. There is nothing in the magnificence of the seas that does not reside in you. There is nothing in the angels that does not live in you as well. You are pure soul, daughters and sons of light. So can you feel the beauty of this invitation to include the whole creation in your heart and to not hold anything mentally apart? Oh, that's that thing that's not me. That's that other thing that has qualities that are different than me. No, everything is you. Everything is the same. Everything holds the qualities that you possess, because we are the beholder and we are also the creator. We are both. We are both, and we already include the qualities that we see. Today we are wrapped in a special joy. Our hearts dance to the beat of everlasting bliss. We vibrate with the heart of love because of the immense joy it brings. Our joy comes from seeing that this day of glory and truth has arrived. Today is a day without equal. You cannot even imagine how sacred this day is for all creation, just as it is for you, that you receive these words. Many will benefit by welcoming them with love and humility, as it is for all who are in time, So it is also for those who have already left time behind, and those who will come to choose again what you choose here today, now and forever. So you can just feel the message just dripping with joy and love and bliss. It's kind of like the angels that send these messages. That's just what they live in. That is their vibration, right? And they are disincarnate beings, angelic entities that live in non-physical realms. So, and we are also there. We have that aspect of ourselves. Our soul lives in that reality, but we also have this multi-layered experience that comes all the way down to this physical layer of reality where there's density and there seems to be separation between cause and effect, and that creates a sense of time and space. And angels don't have that experience, although I guess they can communicate with us here through our consciousness, but their experience is just in glory, and they're just like so happy, they almost can't understand how there could ever be suffering, and so they invite us into those vibrations, which is really just a remembering of that aspect of ourself, that aspect of our consciousness that already lives there and dwells there. But it doesn't exclude anything, and that's really what this message is about knowing ourselves in this high blissful quality, but then learning that we can hold every appearance that we experience in that same light, in that same love. All of you receiving these words are in the plan. You have been chosen to be the first among those on earth to make the conscious choice to embrace love exclusively, not in an indirect way, but in a direct relationship with God, without intermediaries, without teachers, without a need to learn anything, but simply by acknowledging the truth that is always true and to live that truth. You are ready to make this choice for all eternity, and we know that you will make it because we know your holiness and the perfect discernment that dwells in you. We know that you are pure potentiality. Nothing is impossible for those who live in union with Christ, for nothing is impossible with love. Forget to remember. Part 3. Forget to remember. Now begins the time to start forgetting to remember. You must become aware that it is through forgetting that you remember. This is because oblivion and memory are actions determined by the mind. Remembering does not require effort, only vigilance. Vigilance of everything that should be forgotten, so that what you want to remember will live actively in memory until it becomes part of being. Forgetting is a decision, so is remembering. Both are the same, just as giving and receiving are really one and the same. Both happen simultaneously. In accepting and understanding this lies the essence of this work of love, whose purpose is to prepare the second coming of Christ, expanding consciousness through the healing of memory. So this is sort of a mysterious teaching so far, forgetting in order to remember. Let's read on. I think it will clarify itself. If you understand it well, the healing of memory is the only thing that the world needs, because it integrates the healing of understanding and will. Memory is intimately linked to both will and understanding. Applying the three faculties of the soul, memory, understanding, and will, the path proposed by this work, we then exercise the will to forget everything that God is not, and put understanding at the service of love. This is true healing. This is liberation. This is truth. Beloved of God, today is the day that you begin to live into the healing of your present reality. It is enough to decide to live only and exclusively in the love that God is. Only you can and must make this decision. Nothing and nobody can make it for you, but for your peace of mind, know that it is not the will of God that you worry about anything, or even make the slightest effort, for this decision has already been made out of time. Out of time you wanted to separate yourself from God, and out of time you decided to return to divine union. Because this decision has already been made, you can now remember that truth. We are only bringing to present consciousness that which is actual. Remember, blessed of God, that the eternal and time are inseparable. So we are really just remembering a truth, the truth that has always been. And that truth is that we decided to have an experience separate from God, but that as soon as that decision was made, it was corrected. And yet, we can still be here remembering the causes of that decision to separate from God and living out those effects in time and space. And we can stay living out those effects for as long as we want until we consciously remember the choice that we already made, which was to return to God, which is already done. It is done because time itself is an illusion. So it's inviting us to remember the already done atonement, correction of the whole error of thinking we could have separated. And that's something that happens outside of time and space, a choice that's already been made and can just be invited into awareness now through the will, the desire, the will to experience that, to know that, to understand that. The will to understand and remember. I think those were the words that it used. Today is the day when every perceived illness can be abandoned forever. Begin now and forever to live in the healing light of love. Abolish suffering forever. This is what it means to live exclusively in the love that God is. Did not the Father say long ago, I have designs of peace and not of affliction. Invite me and I will put an end to your captivity. These words were a promise, and God fulfills his promises. So it's not God's will for us to suffer. It's actually our mistaken and ignorant choice to suffer. And it's not being put upon us by a divine outside of us. It's our own desire to experience something other than perfect love that keeps us experiencing things that are other than love. Challenge to the world. Today is the day when you can challenge the world. Well, that sounds exciting, kind of daunting. Challenge the world. Today is the day when you can challenge the laws of science and all the rules of human knowledge. Today you can stand face to face with the wisdom of the world, and not allow those who explain everything to hold you in the hell of suffering and death. No, today is the day when the energy of your liberation, the spirit of freedom, is within reach. So we can turn our nose up at what is called worldly wisdom, or experts who tell us, well, if this happens, then this has to happen, and this means this, and that are always recycling the past. Every time this has happened in the past, this has happened after, so that means it will always happen like that in the future, which is obviously the trap of samsara, is obviously the wheel of suffering, and is also a mental affliction that just keeps us trapped in living out our past over and over again in afflictory loops. And this is saying, no, today is the day when the energy of your liberation and the spirit of freedom is within reach. No longer are there obstacles to the end of suffering. Stretch your arms, lift them to heaven, and open your hands. Close your eyes and stay in the stillness of the soul. Embed yourself in the peaceful solace of God. Feel the sweetness of love. Let the angels of God deposit in the palms of your hands the divine grace you need to end the suffering of your human experience, of your life, of your memory, of your soul, and of your heart. This is how you will end it for the whole world. Today is the day when you will challenge the world, just as one day you challenged love. So this turning point, like I was saying, challenging the world instead of our fearful challenge to love, we can be apart from love. We can have something other than love. The connection between memory and suffering is direct, not casual or random. It is within memory that you preserve every trace of pain, every offense received, every fear experienced, and every perceived danger. With each painful memory, which you have jealously guarded from the moment of separation, you have built the house of cards. That is how you hide from God. So holding on to grievances, this is something that the Course in Miracles focuses on a lot. How we separated from God. We felt like we had attacked God by separating from him, and then we held this grievance in our mind that God hates us now. And then we're afraid, and then we go out and we create a world that proves to us that the separation is real, and then we suffer the effects of this world we have created, and then we hold on to these grievances, the guilt of having left God, and the fear of his retribution, and then all the playouts of re-articulating that out into a world that can then do the same thing to us and can attack us and cause pain to us, and that we have to defend ourselves from, and that we hold on to the memory of all those appearances that we created. And this keeps the play going by our unwillingness to let go or forgive or resolve the bound up energy in these memories. That is how we hide from God. In the gloomy vault of painful memories, you store an entire arsenal of poison arrows and darts you use against the sweetness of love as soon as it approaches. This is your ammunition. Your memory is what helps you win your argument that you are different from God, from everyone, and from everything. I can't be pure love because look how my parents treated me when I was growing up. I can't be pure love because look what I did to my best friend when we were 4 years old. I tricked him, and I kicked him in the shin. I can't be pure love because I took that last brownie from the jar secretly when no one was looking. You know, these stories of our guilt. In that vault, you retain what you think will keep you sufficiently protected, so that each time the tenderness of love is felt, you can say, "Look at everything I have suffered. How can you tell me of love?" And you will take her to the top of the mountain and show her all the pain of the world, and there you tell her, with the cries of pain as tragic background music, "Look at all the suffering of the world. How can you speak of love?" It's sort of tragic, isn't it? I feel this inner sort of sadness, but also a kind of hilariousness of it too when it's painted out like this. And we know this part of ourselves, right? Our pet grievances and our sob stories, and how we use those to barricade ourselves from love, from kindness. Beloved humanity, there's a reason that you so jealously guard your painful memories. Think, what could be so valuable that you would to retain suffering in your memory, even beyond what you can bear? Daughters and sons of heaven, you retain in your memory all the pain of the dream of Adam, with the sole purpose of preserving that which seems to make you special, different, unique. That is your well-kept, hidden secret. That is what you fear to be exposed. You believe that pain makes you unique. God does not suffer, but you do. Suffering humanity is a unique identity. Now you have something that God does not. In that you are greater than him. Pain has whispered to you, you will not only be like God, but you will be even more than him. That is why he did not want you to eat the forbidden fruit. This is your triumph. Now you can say with certainty, God and I are different. I am more than God. I have differed myself from God. I am me. I achieved an identity of my own. I may be suffering and unhappy, but I am. God may be a self of love, but I am a suffering self. You manage to differentiate yourself through the path of pain, fear, and separation, but this does not have to be the case. You can see the tragedy in it, and I just feel like, wow, I can really see myself in this, I am a suffering self. And just clinging to that, oh my goodness, this is who I am. My unique suffering, it's different than yours, and you'll probably never really understand my suffering because it's mine, and it's, it's a little bit more special than yours too. Yours is just kind of run-of-the-mill suffering, just like everyone else's, but mine has this particular tinge or flavor that you could never understand, It's my suffering. It's hilarious and innocent, really, too, isn't it? It's funny when you can laugh at it instead of making it into a big boogeyman, more than it is. The identity of the suffering self. Pain cannot be shared. That is why you cling to it when you are identified with ego consciousness. Ego consciousness never wants to share. Attachment to pain is the essence of ego. Without pain, there can be no ego. Without ego, there can be no pain. They are in an immemorial alliance, and it is precisely this alliance that you break today and forever. You have already transcended the ego. Now you can decide to release the mental mechanism inherited from the time of the ego's reign. Its reign has passed. You are no longer identified with it. You have left the ego behind forever. What remains is only a habit of searching, through pain, for a special identity that you neither want nor need. The ego-pain identity alliance is a profane alliance. It was dissolved in the resurrection. It was nailed to the cross and died forever, abolished. And because the resurrection dissolved that alliance, you can free yourself from its mental mechanism. Forgetting to remember is that of which we speak. Forgetting to remember is that of which we speak. Forgetting everything not true about you, remembering everything that is. Forgetting your false self, remembering your true self. Forgetting fear, remembering love. Amen. Oh, beautiful. When God extended to creation, he extended his I am. And at the same time, outside of time, what God is not was also extended. But the history of creation did not end there. Jesus, the Son of God, would continue to spread the I am of God, drawing to himself all that God is not and taking it to the cross to abolish it. And since that has already happened, there is no real need to retain pain in any of its guises, except for the habit of doing so. But releasing a mental mechanism, a mental program, is as simple as being willing to see it, observe it without judgment, recognize it without guilt, and make the decision to abandon it, to let it go, to forget it completely. This is why we have said, forget about what you have lived and throw yourself confidently into the arms of love. Letting go seems difficult at the beginning, but remember that you are not alone. You are never alone. Angels and heaven itself will be with you to make sure you will achieve this union and the relationship. So, I think I'm going to stop there for today. A beautiful chapter that, again, it's this turning point between the outward flow that fear separation created, a world of seeming things and places and people and events and time and space, and then this remembering, forgetting the false creation so that we can remember what's true, what we have never left, the I am that has always been our root, our essence. And from there meet all the things that we have created from fear, from this love that we are, and forget the false identities so that we can rest into the being that is unchanging, pure and always here. And it's just getting into this reminder of the support we have, these beings of light that are willing to support our decision for love. When we know what we want, God rushes forward with support, with beings in our mind that join with us in the choice for peace and in the choice for love, and empower that choice. Empower that choice. And the angelic beings are those beings that never live anywhere other than the glory of God. And there they celebrate when any soul is consciously choosing to abide with them and acknowledge their presence, and acknowledge that they're not even really like a go-between. They're actually just an aspect of ourself, a memory in our mind that is available to us. And we are already there as a sort of celestial soul. And it's just, again, it's this present moment remembering. Instead of remembering our past and our grievances, we remember what we are now. And we need no go-between. We just accept with willingness that grace is here and available to us when we choose to acknowledge it and not cling to the mental constructs that want to argue it and say, yeah, but, what about, not me, maybe someone else. You see what I mean. So that's 32 minutes of checking out the choice to choose only love. And once again, I'm so pleased to be with you, enjoying this. And it won't be long until I return again to finish this chapter. And I thank you so much for joining me here. Those of you who do, I know this isn't like pure entertainment or brain rot like you'll find on YouTube. And I don't know that I would have the patience and the presence to want to sit through something like this. But I thank you for joining me here, whoever is, because it's a joy for me to share from this place. And yeah, I hope in the future we'll have places where we can gather in a more interactive format, and we can join in this shared memory together and discuss in more of a circular fashion what we see from there, because each of us has a unique perspective of this truth that is kind of fleshed out when we all sit in the seat of grace and share what we see. We bring a different facet of love forward. So, God willing, that will find its way eventually, and this will become like a community where we can join in that type of exploration. I think partially I need to become ready for that, and maybe you do too. And we're trusting the flow and trusting that it's an effortless flow of grace and remembering, and that we'll be guided exactly where we need to be. So in that flavor, I thank you for being here right now, and I wish you a beautiful day, beautiful evening, beautiful present moment, holy instant now. Om and Amen, and bye-bye.